Janice is a CSR with MSI, and so she'll walk around with you to make sure that you get any of the questions that you have answered. We can document the different products that you're going to see as we go through the store. Let's get started and go get a tour.
Are you guys looking for countertops? We have quartz, granite, marble, quartzite that you guys are really will look at.
Love it. Yeah, I'd love to see all your countertops.
We do have this section over here where we keep our 18 by 72s. We do have our 12 by 24s over there as well.
Okay. And these are just samples of the different material that you have, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. So we usually just keep our speckled ones over there. Usually the ones that aren't non-veiny, don't really need a full-size slab to see it.
Makes sense.
But then we will hold our veiny ones inside our slab gallery.
Sweet.
Usually that's the ones where customers like to view the whole set.
Okay, well, let's go take a look at the slab gallery. Okay, Janice, so when we get into the slab gallery, do we have to put helmets on?
No.
We don't have to put helmets on here? So as long as we stay behind the yellow railing, we don't have to put hard hats on. I kind of was looking forward to putting a hard hat on.
We do have inventory because everything in here is just for show. So when customers are ready to finally pick a slab, then we'll get it from inventory, and then that's where they will wear the hard hats.
Got it.
So usually every lane does have its own category. So usually the first lane, second lane, third lane, this is all quartzite, which is our natural stone.
Okay.
And then our first, second, third lane again is going to be granite. Everything down this lane will be marble, except for the last four. Those are porcelain stones. You see that they're much more thinner than quartz.
Okay.
And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4 will be our quartz. That's the man-made material.
Got it.
And then the last area is kind of a mixture between granite and quartzite. So usually when you go towards the middle, you see that it's divided. So usually everything from this side is granite and everything on the other side is quartzite.
Okay, love it. So I see that these down here are backlit. That's really cool. What kind of product is that?
That's our Castallo.
Castallo.
Yes.
And what the heck is Castallo? Is that a quartzite or is that like a specific material?
That's one of our quartzite that are meant to be lit from the back. So people usually put this on their countertops, put LEDs around the corners, so that way it lights up.
Love that. Gorgeous. So as you can see with the quartzite products, you get a lot of very unique patterns and colors with the quartzite. So you get a lot of unique veining, a lot of unique coloring. And so if you see something that stands out to you that you really love, we have the ability at our fabricator shop to actually isolate certain sections. And so if you're saying, hey, I don't want this on my countertop because it's a little deeper of a color, then we can have the ability to kind of fabricate that out. If you love that and you want that to be kind of a focal piece, then we have the ability to use that in your countertop and kitchen layout as well. Let's talk about that a little bit. So you have a slab that's super unique like this that has a lot of character in it. Not every slab in this selection is going to be the exact same. Is that correct?
Yes.
So when you're picking out slabs, let's just use this one as an example. It's really important that we pick out like 2 or 3 or 4 different slabs that you can then isolate and say, okay, I want those 2. I don't like that third one.
Yes.
Love that. I love this. This is amazing. So where does this particular product come from?
Actually, if you look, every slab will have these labels. So it'll tell you where it comes from, if it comes in a certain thickness, if it comes in a certain finish, the stone type.
Awesome. And this is a really good example too of if you really like the elements of like the texture in this particular area, you can use that as an emphasized piece of material on your kitchen. And so you can have this piece cut to be part of your countertop. If you don't love that and you want to eliminate this, we have the ability to cut maybe a section down here that is not as textured in this particular stone. But I don't know who wouldn't love that. That's amazing. Do you have anything that would give a customer an idea of like how expensive this is compared to something else?
So actually, when we do give out these clipboards, if we go to the second page, we do have a grouping list. So we're not allowed to give out pricing to the public because we are wholesale. We don't give out retail pricing.
Okay.
So usually we'll give
Gotta call me.
Yes. So usually we'll give customers these grouping lists. So 0 being usually least expensive, 8 being least expensive, and then we do provide like if certain slabs come in jumbo or not.
Okay, so pretty straightforward. So 0's cheap, 8's expensive, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Love it. And then once you guys are all done with your selections and you fill this all out, we'll actually get an email with all of the pricing and the selections of the different materials that you chose. And so then you can work with your sales rep to dial in which product you want. So we always recommend, and I would imagine you'd probably recommend customers usually pick 2 or 3, maybe 4 different slabs. And that way, when they get back to their home and they're like, hey, I like these 3 the most, maybe that number 1 slab is like triple the budget. Number 2 is looking a lot more attractive, on price. Love it. Let's keep going. If I'm not mistaken, you guys have different sizes of slabs. Is that correct?
Yeah. So usually everything in the showroom will be 2 centimeters.
Okay.
But we do carry either 2 or 3.
Okay. One thing that you do need to do while you're here is turn your Apple Watches on because you're going to get your steps in. This place is huge. Okay, so these slabs look really big. What's the story behind these?
Super jumbo slabs.
Super jumbo slabs.
So these go 140 by 80.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they're...
So if you have like a really big island or just a massive kitchen, this is maybe where you want to be looking at.
And these ones are showcase that they're book match. So these are our quartz.
Quartz products.
Yeah. Quartz are usually made to look unified without every single slab.
Awesome.
So there's no change in that. But some people do like how with natural stone, it comes book match with each one. So
Awesome.
the veinings will go through one slab to the other. And we do carry some in quartzite. As you can see, the veining will connect from one slab to the other. Usually people use these for waterfalls.
Okay, that's fantastic to where you can use that to do a waterfall edge. And the waterfall edge that's where the countertop goes from the island over the side, right? Awesome.
I think no, from what I've heard, it goes from the backsplash to the countertop.
Backsplash to the countertop. Okay. So if you're transitioning, if you wanted to use your countertop material on your countertops and then use the same material on your backsplash, having the book match ends is really popular because when it goes from the countertop up to the backsplash, these lines will line up. The same goes if you had a countertop material that was on your island and you wanted that top section to then waterfall over the edge of the side of the countertop. Having this line up just adds an element of uniqueness and beauty to the countertop as it goes over the edge. Okay, so we talked about quartzite. We talked about quartz. Tell us a little bit about granite. What is unique or special about granite stones?
I think what's unique is just the look of it.
Okay.
We do, and you can see we have things, some slabs are speckled. If you don't like it, we also have some slabs that are like this.
And the colors between the slabs are very unique as well.
Okay.
Like you will never see something that looks like this where it's red and yellow and green.
So this is like cut out of the earth, right? This particular stone is coming from like Brazil. They're just cutting like huge chunks of earth out of the ground.
Yes.
And then we're cutting it into slim slabs like this and polishing it. And that's truly how granite is formed, right? Awesome. So this is really no different than like the rocks that you have in your front yard, except instead of being crushed, this is designed to be polished and used as a cooking service. Amazing. So how long have you been here at MSI?
Going on 2 years.
2 years. Love that. So what makes MSI unique and different than other wholesalers, other distributors in the Valley? Because MSI is not the only one. We love them, but why do you think MSI is unique and different?
From what I've heard, we do actually have the largest selection of quartz.
Okay. Good luck finding where that goes. What would you call this?
Great.
A crane? Okay, so the MSI is going to use a crane to lift these slabs. Why do they need a crane?
They weigh over like a ton.
No way. So these
Yeah.
things can get really heavy.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not something like you and I could just carry out.
No.
Okay. So one thing that's really neat, and unfortunately none of them are running right this second, but these cranes will actually start up and they'll pan. You can hear the buzzer in the background, but they turn the cranes on and then they'll use this to go around the showroom to pick up the different slabs that the customers want, and they'll bring them just in the back, right? So you can see.
Here, or if customers do make an appointment, we'll have them in the section in the front so that they can see better.
Awesome. I think this is pretty neat because you can see you have so many different options in quartz with the grays and the blues, and obviously we walk by a lot of whites. Quartz has really come a long way to give you just about any option you would want in a stone at a very consistent price. And so quartz is a phenomenal material that we use quite often. All right, so we got to put hard hats on. I need a still image. So you and I got to put a hard hat on. We got to do this. All right, here we go.